Hello, right, we are back again. Sorry about that. There was a slight technical hitch there. Okay, I'm just going to wait until Mark jumps on and we can add him into it and we can continue where we left off a minute ago. There was me just saying I was completely organised as well. Okay, here we go. Da-da-da. So yeah, thank you to everybody who joined in last week. It was absolutely incredible. We had some great feedback. Everyone was rather nice to us. We had just a slight little technical hitch. Let me just see if I can get Mark in here. He's just going to be jumping on his other phone at the moment. But yeah, no, thank you for joining me this evening. Hello, Holly. Hello, Mr. Elvis is in the building. Fantastic. Can everybody hear me again? Back in the room, Steve. That's right. Yeah. As I say, we're still learning how to use all this. So, 1 second. Just waiting for Mark to join us, and then we can. There he is. Right. Bring Mark on camera. Is he in? Mark!
Way!
Yeah, it worked! 2 weeks in a row, we've absolutely fucked it right up. Okay, right. Let me just, basically, as I was saying when I was trying to join you in, I was just saying thank you to everybody for joining last week, Mark. It was brilliant with Mr. Elvis, and you actually
Looks amazing.
You know Elvis, don't you?
Yes, I've known him extremely well for a number of years.
Yeah, I thought so. But we're going to get to that in a minute. I just want to say, as I said, thank you for everyone again joining. I was just saying how organised I was this week.
I would like to point out it was not Dexter's fault. Incredibly organised. I'm like, I've got my laptop set up and I've got the lighting right. It makes me look at least 5 years younger. And he's like, yeah, only works on your phone. So then we had a hasty reorganisation.
Yes,
and I'm on the phone now. So yeah.
Do you know what? I didn't even know. This technology gets updated all the time, and it's all new to me. We use it a lot in the clubs, but I've never really. I've just started using it with the interviews. But I just want to say that
I'm just going to try and lay you on the computer so I don't have to hold the phone and have a shaky.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
There we go. Look, and it's going to slide. Look. Right, there we go.
Don't get too carried away. No. Over the next few weeks, we've got people like Shaggy, Martin Makepeace. A lot of people know Shaggy from Ibiza Travel years ago. We've got Julian from Simples who's coming on, Marco Loco, the Dirty Rotten DJs, Vicky Devine when she's massively busy with Ushuaia at the moment. I've even been speaking to Mr. Slipmat, and he's going to be coming on over the next few weeks as well. We've got a really, I hate to use the word, but eclectic bunch of people. So that's why we've got you here, Mark. I'm also hoping to get a certain Randy Goldspunk on here. So Andy, you're out there. I'm going to be ringing you this week, and it'll be an absolute blinder to have some of our favourite people in character from the Ibiza days, bringing up some of those characters that we used to party in. I'm just going to start off now, Mark. I mean, with everybody has your background obviously started with Hed Kandi, and now you've come all the way through to Fierce Angel. But I think starting with Hed Kandi, I think everybody in this room has either raved at, partied at, danced at, got smashed at, or even worked at Hed Kandi over the years. It's kind of a bit of an Ibiza institution now. And in a way, I've never really heard a bad thing ever said about Hed Kandi. So we're quite excited to have you on board because I don't know the backstory to Hed Kandi, and I imagine a lot of the people on here don't either. So it's great to have you on board. So how did you first come about in Ibiza? Was it before Hed Kandi?
I mean, before Hed Kandi, I was running club nights. We were one of the first house club nights in 87, 88 in West London.
Wow.
So you know, oh God, yeah. I'm fucking 50 next year, but let's not talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Fuck that. No, I'm still 50. But yeah, we were doing club nights and I had always thought we'd gone out on various holidays, and I went out to Ibiza one year. And actually, I did the Club 1830s holiday. Didn't do any of the trendy clubs or anything. Got back from Ibiza. My brother on Kiss FM had won 2 tickets to go to Sin at the Astoria. And
Yeah.
Sin was run by Nicky Holloway, like a most amazing club night, one of the first big sort of house nights. And I walked in and they were playing all this amazing music. And I was just like, this is fucking what people talk about. When they talk about house music or clubbing or whatever, they talk about one of those nights that they had a spiritual awakening or whatever. And I walked into this club and the music was just amazing. And that was it for me. I was sold. We went back and we started doing these club nights. We were in West London, so we had all the same people. Brandon used to come down and dance at our nights. Brandon had a club night on Sunday at the same club as ours that he ran with Dean Thatcher and Rocky from Rocky and Diesel. And it was all that sort of West London crowd, so Express 2, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
And we kind of did all of that, and that's where I got my house music grounding, and that always stayed with me. So I carried on running commercial nights and different bits and pieces. But I ended up sort of working in lots of different jobs, but always DJing on the side. Okay. And ended up in a job when I was working at Jazz FM. And
this is bizarre.
And this was, it was crazy. But I was looking after Jazz FM's compilations, and we were putting, marketing is just understanding what people like when they're listening to something. So with Jazz FM, we were like, look, just put the music from the playlist on your radio station, put them on the CDs. So we were doing all these compilations, and I didn't, it wasn't really my sort of music, but it was like just basic, like if they listen to this, they might want to buy it. So I got lumped with sort of doing the Jazz FM records. And as I got a little bit more sort of confidence and whatever in the first 2 years of working for them, they were like, okay, we need another idea for what we're going to do with the compilation. So I was like, oh, okay, well, under Jazz FM, why don't we do a new cool record? Because what I really wanted to do was be on their radio station and play records, not what they were playing. But not what they were playing, but stuff that I thought their audience might want to listen to.
Of course.
So I basically sort of went, I'll do a new cool record. We did the first new cool, and it was kind of funky stuff and brand new heavies and stuff like that. Second one, on the second CD, I put a load of like jazz house and Masters at Work and things like that. And that one sold ridiculously well. And they were like, oh my God, you are a marketing genius. You should. And I'm just like, no, I was completely blagging it all the way through. There was no science to it. No, it was just, I was doing something I loved. And the new cool CD, it was, well, we call it luck.
As we were talking about the other day,
I was like, other people might call it genius. I call it complete luck. My wife's in the back going, no, it's complete fucking luck. You have no skill whatsoever. You've blagged it your entire life.
Absolutely winging it. You're still winging it.
This is why I married my wife. My wife keeps me grounded. Every time I just go, yes, this is amazing. She goes, fuck off. You're just like doing whatever. But the new cool 2 CD, if anyone has one on Jazz FM Records, it's got the first Jason Brooks picture on it. It's in a sort of nice cover. And it was kind of, that was the beginning of Hed Kandi. But the new cool 2 CD sold so well that Jazz FM were like, well, this isn't really Jazz FM. This is not what we do. But how can we carry on doing this? Because we really like making money. So I was like, well, why don't we start a new record label, and why don't we call it this? And it will be grown-up dance music. At the time, all of the Ibiza CDs weren't really CDs from Ibiza. They were Judge Jules presents 3 minutes of a trance classic. It wasn't what Ibiza really was, or what I felt that dance music really was. So I sort of went, okay, well, if you're going to give me enough rope to hang myself, let's call it Hed Kandi. Let's make it in a really nice cover. At the time, no one on earth would ever have paid for the magnet that was on the back of those Hed Kandi CDs. That magnet was 50p a unit, just to make the magnet on the back that opened and shut. Really cool. When you were really fucked up, you could sit there and go, magnet shut, magnet open. And you could sit there for 2 hours doing it. Oh, I have, But that was, but it was all about, it was about the presentation, it was about the look of it, and full 12-inch mixes, not mixed by a DJ, not anyone trying to fucking blow their own trumpet, just the music as it should have been. And that was it. And it took off. It went mental.
Well, the
And it
artwork,
was
the artwork's legendary as well, because that's
huge.
one of my questions. That artwork now, it's been from day one. You've had that element of artwork all the way through, haven't you? And
Yeah.
how did you find that? Was it a particular designer, or was it an element that you wanted to?
Okay, well,
I even went into there's a bar in Calpe, Benidorm, that's a Hed Kandi bar.
well, they probably stole it. They probably stole
it. All looks Hed Kandi.
Everybody stole it at the point.
So, sorry, I interrupted then. So how did it actually start with the artwork?
Okay, again, I would like to say it was my complete knowledge of design and artwork at the time.
Of course.
But it was a complete blag. Now, what it was, and this is not that, oh my God, look, in works of market, if you got Steve Jobs to come on and go, how did you design Apple? And it's like, yeah, fucking blagged it all the way through. I didn't know a thing about computers. Yeah, fucking call it Apple. That's kind of Hed Kandi. Now, with the artwork, I used to go to a club night in London called Pushka. And Pushka was one of the monumental, like, mixed gay, amazing club nights. Handbag House, brilliant, absolutely amazing. Now, the artwork for Pushka was designed by Jason Brooks. Yeah. And Jason Brooks was, at that point, was a student at college in Brighton doing fashion artwork. And he had done these things, he'd done these sort of sketches. And we used to go there. I used to look at the flyers and think, oh, I love them. And we basically, when I proposed the whole idea of Hed Kandi, I was like, okay, so now I have to design a logo. I have to design artwork. And I'm like, I got a fucking clue what I'm doing at all. And I was like, I would really like something like that flyer that I used to go to that club night at. Yeah. Now I was on a train up to a gig, and I opened up a magazine, and this supplement dropped out, and there was like street art and things like that. This artwork dropped, and it was all sponsored by Brute, man, the aftershave.
Yeah.
And
Christmas present.
Yeah, but basically this artwork dropped out, and I was like, that's the designer from those Pushka days. I was like, that's the same thing as, and there was an email on there, and I emailed him and I said, have you ever been asked to like design a cover for a music CD? Yeah. And he was like, no, I'd love to do one. I was like, right. And that's how we started talking. It's complete coincidence how everything fell into place for those things. But that was Jason Brooks.
Working its magic. That's
well, that's it, you know.
It's iconic now.
It is iconic. And he's still amazing. The work he's now showing at London galleries and doing sort of his own little. He is probably, but that was the thing. I did on those CDs when we were making them. I didn't want a photograph of a girl in a bikini, or I wanted something that was a fictional depiction of that lifestyle. That's the only way I can explain it.
So when you went to Ibiza, you were very much, you weren't into the San An. You actually you were very much assisted by the guys from Bass Bar and SVV. Is that right? When you first started?
When I went back there, my first couple of trips to Ibiza were full on San An, Club 1830s. Don't do anything. Don't go anywhere. Go up the West End and blah, 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 blah.
Where are you going tonight?
Yeah, and where are you going tonight? Well, come with us.
Bar crawl down the West End.
But basically, we did the whole Hed Kandi thing, and you've got to bear in mind that Hed Kandi at that time was being run. The company above it was a Jazz FM Records label. They knew nothing about clubbing or big old people listen to jazz music done in Soho, and and I'm like that going, we should go to Ibiza and we should tell people about this Hed Kandi, this brand that we have, and they're like, we don't have a clue what you're saying, and we are not gonna pay for you to go there. So I went with my friend, and I went back out to Ibiza with my friend with like 2 boxes of 80 CDs, and we've been talking to Jason and his business partner at the time, and Jason was working at the time at the Bass Bar, and And it was the really early days. In fact, I think it was a rock bar at that point. Wasn't even bass bar. And he was launching a postcard service, that postcards that went on the walls of all the different, like, you know, all the different bars and clubs in Ibiza town. And we were talking about printing a postcard. These are days, you have to kind of understand this, days for the internet, where people, the only way you can, you know, you have to tell, you know, we had to give people flyers or postcards or whatever.
Who would have thought it?
I know. I mean, I love those days. But we went out to him, and me and my friend Tim went out there, and we were on like a really cheap deal. We were staying in really shit apartments in Playa d'Embossa, and it was just, we went out, and Jason literally just took all the CDs off us. And this is why I've got so much love for Jason. And that team, all of his friends, all the people there, Howard and Nick and everyone that was involved in those early days, that basically he took the CDs and he went, in his Jason way, mate, don't worry about it. I'll take them all off you. Take them off you. I'll give them to everyone. And literally within 2 weeks, every bar in Ibiza town had one of those CDs. They had the Serve Chill and the New Cool 3. And it was ridiculous. And that was...
You just hit everything you hit at the right time, really, didn't you?
Well, I think it was the right time, but it was also the right people. We never went into it as a big Billy Bollocks business. We had no marketing plan. It was about meeting the right people and, you know, sort of meeting the right people that did the right business, that could talk to the right people. There was no, let's spend 10 million quid convincing someone to like this music. Let's just do it and see if they like it. And I don't know if you can, you know, I don't know if you can ever do that ever again. I think there are, you know, there are people that are coming back to it like Clockwork Orange are doing at the moment. But, you know, I think it's tough. But in that, we just caught a moment. Whatever it was, we caught a moment and we caught the right people. And it was amazing.
How did I mean, a lot of us have very, very, very dear memories of El Divino. I'm still gutted about it. I used to spend a lot of time with Lee at Money Pennies. And El Divino, great club. Now Leo, a completely different concept. How did you end up at El Divino? And you were there for a lot of years as well.
Well, it all started off so, and I've just been, you know, because the myths of time, if you go, oh, I remember that, I'm like, fucking, when was that? So I just did a little bit of research before I came on, and it worked out 2000 was 1999 was the first year that I went out and met Jason and and gave him the CDs. 2000 was the year that we went out and we launched the Afterlife CD, and we did a party on the balcony at Bass Bar with Afterlife, and it was just ridiculous, and we shut down most of Ibiza town for a variety of reasons. 2001, we then went back and we went, okay, we're gonna do Ibiza, wow! And at that point, we were doing Manumission Motel, the filthy dirty nights that Gail run, which were amazing. I mean, Manumission Motel. If I go back to one place in that island, Manumission Motel, unbelievable.
Is that and it's sadly gone as well, isn't it?
Oh God, it's flat. It's a roundabout. I mean, it's
a roundabout. That's right.
It's a roundabout. But so that year was that year 2001 was the year that we did a deal with Pasha, and we were like, oh, we're going to go and do the back room at Pasha on a Sunday. And the promoter on a Sunday hated us and basically got us kicked out after 3 weeks. And we ended up at the Eden back room. And the Eden back room was just spectacular for us. It was
great. It's great. It's one of our favourite back rooms. It's
amazing night.
Wow.
But then I think it was 2002. In 2002, off the back of the Eden back room and everything that we were doing, we moved into El Divino. And Khaled, who is, out of all the people I've ever worked with in Ibiza, just the most legendary club owner, person I've sat and had dinner with many years. And it's surreal. And he's like, he'd take you around Ibiza town and go, I own this, I own this. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But it was, we ended up, they gave us the Saturday night because no one thought it would work.
Yeah, change overnight.
Now, and you're back in, you know, sort of 2002.
Yeah.
And there were no EasyJet flights at that time. There was no one flying it at the weekend. Saturday was a change overnight.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Saturday,
yeah. So basically, Saturday was dead.
Yeah.
Dead as a door now.
Oh, yeah.
The year that we went in and started doing, I can't even explain what it was that we did, other than everyone that worked for us, everyone that ever did anything for Hed Kandi on that island, it was my job to make sure they were looked after. It was my job to make sure that everyone kind of got paid for what they were doing and whatever. And just to make sure that no one ever got screwed over. That was one of the things that I fought for the whole entirety. Anyone that ever did us a favour, anyone that did anything for us, we looked after them. Prime example. Yeah, well, Jason, from him just giving out those CDs, we did baseball CDs. He calls me up and he goes, Mark, we've just bought a hotel. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? We bought a hotel. He's like, yeah, all we have to do is smash up the crazy golf course and we're fine. And literally, SVV used to have a crazy golf course out the front of it.
I wasn't actually aware of that, but look at it now. It's absolutely incredible. And so, that's come a long, long way from Hed Kandi. And now your new project was not too new, actually. 2000.
Well, no, I left Hed Kandi in 2006. So we're now 12 years into this year. Oh no, I'm on the Stout Ramen.
Oh yeah, this is the hard stuff for me nowadays.
Oh, is it?
But
I've actually seen your post about your child, and I know you have to be up and on the ball at 6 o'clock to deal with it.
He's a menace. He's an absolute menace.
I fucking love it. I'm like that. I'm going to see what's he done next. Anyway, back to Ibiza. I left in 2006. I left in 2006. We were having the most amazing time. We were having and I think what people don't look at or what people don't see is what goes on behind the scenes.
Of course,
any business. And I was, what you need to do is at some point you need to get Paul and Matt, who were our Ibiza residents for that time, get them online and do an interview with them, because they were the front line. They did the parties. They knew everything going on in Ibiza.
Yeah.
I would duck in and duck out. I would literally, for the first season, before we did El Divino, when we did Pasha, I would fly onto the island, and I did close to 15 weeks of flying in, doing the parties, sorting all the shit out, and then flying home again. Right. And basically, I'd fly out on Friday night after work, arrive home on Monday night, go into work on Tuesday, and then do a full week, and literally hide beneath my desk, crying my eyes out, because you're just like, you're kind of running a business that it's not your business, and you're trying to convince people to do what you're doing.
And it's owned by a jazz company.
And it was owned by a jazz company. It's crazy thing.
Mad. I doubt many people on this who watch this will actually realise that. I didn't know that. And that is just batty, isn't it? It's bonkers to think.
It's bonkers, but it would probably never have existed had I not been working for that company, because they had no preconceptions about that sort of business. So they weren't fishing for shitloads of money. They weren't trying to be trendy. They weren't trying to make a mark in clubland. They just suddenly got given a business where it was like, oh, this is great. Let's just fucking do this.
They had no idea how lucky they were.
Well, they did. When we actually,
eventually.
2003, as Hed Kandi, we put the whole of Jazz FM into profit for the first time in 10 years. They're a jazz radio station. And now there's an old saying in jazz, which is, how do you make £1 million out of jazz music? You start with £5 million.
Right.
So it was lucky, and it was great. But that was the problem. That was the thing that ultimately killed it, because I was at Jazz FM. I had all of the scary thing, but you have all the power. You're like, hey, I'm doing everything. I'm making you all the money. They got bought by a far bigger company.
Mm-hmm.
So they get bought by a far bigger company, and the bigger company, which was the Guardian Media Group, took one look at us and went, you are turning over £10 million a year, and £6 million of that is profit. And all of these lunatics are running the asylum, which is what we were. We were just, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But we were all, every member of the team were working their asses off. And we gave them results. But big companies don't like that. They don't understand it.
Don't get it, do they? They just don't get it. And I have to say to some of the people that I work with, the music industry is probably the only industry. It's really cool to be late for a meeting because you're hungover, or really cool to not come into work with a massive hungover. Or
also really acceptable. It's also in the music industry. It's really acceptable to be absolutely shit at what you do because you have a team underneath you that will pull your ass out of the fire. And that's a music industry. And totally. we basically, when this big company took us over, we got given someone. They were like, okay, we don't get this at all. We don't understand it. And we don't trust you lot.
For a start.
Well, you know what? At that point, if I'd have taken one look at me, I'd be like, fucking, whoa.
Exactly.
No way.
Because we do live in that bubble, don't we? We live in that bubble. We don't see normal life.
But you have to give results or else you'll be out of a job. But they hired in this guy and they put him in above Musk, paid him twice as much as I was earning for a guy from Sony, and he fucked the entire company. It's the only way I can say it. And I basically spent the last year of Hed Kandi, about 2004 to 2005, arguing with him constantly about why we shouldn't move to a bigger club to make more money, why we shouldn't screw over the guy that had worked with us for 5 years, building up our club night, and go and work for the person down the road offering more money, why I shouldn't take that sponsorship deal for a shit airline that none of our customers would ever fly on.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see that a lot that's moved into the modern day world, and it's just, it is a shame. And as you were probably right, we probably have seen days that won't be repeated. I mean, let's move on with your Fierce Angel, because you're actually planning to come back for one night in September, aren't you?
We're back!
Oh my God, Mr. Mark.
Oh my God, we're back!
For one night only. We might have to get Elvis down there.
Oh God, if he could parachute in through the S pyramid
into the building, obviously.
If he could come through the pyramid on his moment in time,
goes down, Elvis flies in. Do you know what? Genius. And do you know what? He's actually watching at the moment.
I know. Howard, come on, come down. Come on. We're doing a revival. Pop down.
Oh, that would be fantastic. So
go.
With Fierce Angel, I mean that is your the brand that you work with nowadays. How did that start?
That was basically me doing a Jerry Maguire. I walked out of the company and said, I'm leaving, who's coming with me? And it was a hellish time, because I walked out and I took people with me. We got sued. I had to let people go. We were at the height of what we were doing, and I convinced all of my best friends that worked with me to leave and start a new company. And then that company got fucked because we got into a legal case. We got into bollocks that we didn't think we were going to get into.
It drains your cash and energy, doesn't it?
Well, it drains your cash, and it also kills your friendship. Things that you thought you were going to be able to do, you couldn't do. And after that, I literally went, and we had investors, and I just said, look, I'm just doing this on my own from now on. I'm never going to have investors. If I employ anyone, it will be my wife, and she can just withhold sex if that doesn't work for it. If I upset her, then I have to sleep somewhere else. That's far more of a commodity I can understand.
So much easier.
Yeah, so much easier.
It's life.
Yeah, it's life, But that was it, kind of. So we had this little blip where we tried to start up another company, and it just didn't didn't happen for a variety of reasons. And then Fierce Angel was just about putting every single penny I had into just doing what I wanted to do. And we've done our own compilations. We've done our own artist projects. We go and we do it. I know what I've got to do to pay the bills for this mortgage and stuff. So I do, and times people don't understand it. They go, "Why don't you do something bigger? Why don't you?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't need to. I just want to do what I love, and I want to go out to a gig and I want to enjoy it. I don't want to think that I have to do this and this to pay the bills. I just want to do what I love, and that's it."
Absolutely, and it's obviously you're good at what you're doing, and the great news is you were in Ibiza for a few years with it, weren't you?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we've been back and forward. We worked with SVV. We did lots of stuff with SVV. We've gone into various deals and we've tried to do various things, but when they kind of try and inflict the Ibiza rules on us, then I completely fox them and go, "No, I don't want to do it." Like, what do you mean you don't want to do this? I'm like, "No, I'll fuck off to Kuala Lumpur and do something there."
You've been there and done that, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's a different island now. It's a different island. It has evolved.
I think there are still some amazing things out there. There are still some
magical things. Yeah.
I mean, there's still, but you have to kind of go out there and not do it with the commercial head. There are amazing places you can play at, but don't think you can go out there and play and earn stupid amounts of money or
it's a process, element of luck, and a lot of competition, a lot more competition out there than when we were doing
God, yeah.
I mean, I remember when we first started doing the shipwreck boats, there was only us and Pucker up, and now if you looked a few years ago, everyone was doing boats, and it's just like, wow, how did all that happen? And it's just times do develop, and it is. I think I remember speaking to another promoter, it might even be Nick Ferguson, who we're running one more time with, and I was saying, because I was doing some events at Kenya in the evening, and Nick did Kenya the year before with Kiss the Funk, and Mo, funny enough, it was Mo and Kiss the Funk, and Timmy Sheridan, Rob to Zero. But anyway, they smashed it. They smashed the granny out of it that year, the year before. We come in the year after, and we really, really struggled. And it was just tiny. The year by year, it gets more and more difficult, more and more stuff. It's just harder.
It's weird. It's ebbs and flows, and it's also, and now weird things, not weird, but things that just all of a sudden create a buzz in Ibiza. Clockwork Orange, come from nothing. I mean, the boys have done so well.
Incredible, isn't it?
With what they used to do in the past, and then revitalizing that and bringing it back into the island. Is Andy and Danny, fucking amazing job of what they've done with that brand.
It's fantastic. I mean, it's 4 years. Is it 4 years? Wow, they brought it back. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's been really quick. But then you look at Simon Dunmore and fucking Glitterbox, oh my God, what they have done for the music that I love, the music that I've always championed, the music that's been part of my life. Glitterbox is kind of what Hed Kandi. If I was still at Hed Kandi, that's where we would be right now.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I've heard
it's
so many people on the island who live on the island, and they when they have their nights off, they head down to Glitterbox.
Yeah,
it's their favourite night. So big up to.
Well,
they're over in Croatia at the moment with Defected.
I know.
Today, and it looks incredible already. I'm actually in a little different part of Croatia, and I've got I'm not there.
There was like an amazing lineup of DJs and Simon Dunmore on this boat, and the boat's looking like it's all over the shop.
Yeah,
as they're filming the line, and I was almost going to type, if that boat sinks, the whole of dance music is fucked. But I didn't. I put myself back. But I mean, that's it. But anyway, we are back out on the island.
You're back soon.
We're back.
Yes.
And we've waited to do something that works for us and is a good night. So we're back September the 15th, Paradise.
Yeah.
And it's just any worker. If you are a worker on that island, you get in for free. We look after you. That is it. That's all I care about. I'm looking at doing something fantastic that we can maybe repeat next year. Yeah. But yeah, it's Paradise. It's got the Freemasons. Got a live PA from Soraya Vivian, got Louise Evans, Lady V doing saxophone, And we're also teaming up with Tropical Velvet, and they're an amazing label in the UK.
Yep.
Really underrated, very under the radar. I'm making amazing records now. Court, who is the guy from Tropical Velvet, has recorded for Defected and various people, done his own label. Brilliant, like music I would listen to all day long. Absolutely fantastic. They're with us as well. We're doing pool parties at the Beach Star in Ibiza.
Awesome.
And then under your recommendation, we are also at Soho on Friday and Saturday.
Nathan,
with Nathan. So it's about keeping it real and just going back and having some fun.
I'm so glad you've gone to Es Paradis. Es Paradis is so beautiful, and it's one of my favourite venues in the world. As you know, we did a lot of work there over the years in the back room when I think it was called the Gallery, wasn't it? And we used to run a lot of events up there, and it was just amazing. And it's got so much potential, Es Paradis, and I think with what we saw at Clockwork a few weeks ago, it had some good nights. It has got some good nights, but it's just, I love it there so much. So beautiful.
Do you know what? It's a beautiful venue, and it needs that little extra bit of attention in the nights that it does. You know, an investment.
Stunning, absolutely stunning. Where else is there another place like it? I mean, so just a couple of questions that I want to ask you actually. What is your favourite Ibiza club? Or is that a no-brainer?
Oh no! Well, what
is that?
Well, is it one that still exists, or what was my?
I'll leave it open canvas for you.
Okay, my favourite Ibiza night ever. If I would say one thing that would be Manumission Motel. Manumission originally, just that night was just amazing.
Wasn't it?
Oh my God, I'm like, dress up, go out.
It's fantastic. Nothing will ever touch it.
When I used to play, just the amount of people just trawling in at 6 o'clock in the morning and going past Johnny the Dwarf at the door and dealing with Mike and Claire and going up to the Tiki Bar and Manumission Motel. If I would say one thing that, because you kind of go, El Divino was amazing. It was part of Hed Kandi.
Of course.
Es Vive, the pool parties, the experience bar at 7 o'clock in the morning. If there was one core thing that was the core of everything we did, or the core of everything I thought that Ibiza was, it was Manumission. It was what Mike and Claire did, because it was just so. I think that just, for me, that captured everything that Ibiza should be.
Without a doubt. And thankfully, Claire is quite a keen follower on this group. So I've talked to her quite a bit. And there's so much. It was her birthday the other day, actually. And there was just
I know, I saw.
So much love for her on the group and what they achieved. And I don't think, you have the similar events or similar, like or themed events such as Elro and things like the modern day. But I don't think if you hadn't actually seen Manumission, how it was, you can't really. There is no comparison. You
cannot capture that.
Absolute clubbing theatre.
But I think it's also, everyone has their point. Everyone has their thing that they. So for some people, that pinnacle might be Elro. That might, because they've never seen that.
They've never been on different ages, generations.
They've never been on Space Terrace. They've never been on. But I think it was also, it wasn't just the theatrics and just what they did, but it was also the community. It was what we tried to do with Hed Kandi, where if you walked up to Mike and Claire, they would treat you like a friend. That even though they didn't know you or whatever, they would have time for you. And that was everything we tried to do with Hed Kandi, or the things that we did with our brand. Everyone was part of the family. That was, that was the thing. And I think that's the thing that Manumission captured for me at that time. So that's what
we're really lucky. When myself and Nick were writing down the brands of our era, it went on forever.
Keep going.
And then we didn't realise how lucky we are. Around the late 90s to 2010, I can't really say anything further than that because I haven't been there. I've been sitting in Croatia, being sober and boring and a father. Ugh. But anyway, when we wrote everything down about how we're going to get people involved and brands involved next year for the reunion, The list went on forever, and we just looked at it and went, "Oh my God, how blessed
How are we
were
going to do
we?"
it?
Yeah, I mean, we were really in a lucky position. And by the way, I've been speaking to Nick, and I haven't even spoken to you about next year's reunion. But of course, I'm doing it live on Facebook. We'd love to get you involved at next year's
I'm there. You
reunion,
know I'm
Mark.
there. I'm
Yeah,
there.
we've had a brief discussion, but I'm inviting you live on Facebook to say, please do something with us next year.
I
Obviously,
am coming.
yeah, oh yeah, that you certainly are. We want to get you involved. The great thing is about the reunion is, like I said, we've got so much. There's so many brands out there, and yeah, it is called One More Time. But we want the event to hopefully go on over several years, and the last thing we want to do is blow our load in the first year. So we need to. We are very fortunate that we can have a really strong first year, and then we can bring other elements in the second
Yeah.
year, third year, because there's so much history to
But
it.
there's so much there. But I mean, it's like I think as well that if you're truly if you believe in all the things that you've ever talked about, for me, then I'm there working for free. I'm there working because I want to be part of that, because it then resonates onto what I want to do in business. So it shouldn't be, and that's, when we do club nights, I don't pay most of our DJs half of what they should be paid.
Yeah.
Because I'm calling them, I'm like, oh, you want to be part of this, come and do this. Because sometimes that's the only way you can make it work. People don't understand these days what things actually cost. And I'm like, sometimes, and this is why I do my own business. I don't have shareholders. Because if I want to go and do something for free, I want to be able to go and do it. It's like, I'll go and make money by going and working in fucking Singapore or wherever. I'll go and do that gig and earn that money. But if I want to do something I really love, then most of the time I've got to do it either for cheaper or for free. And shareholders go, no, you cannot do that. And that's, that's everything I set up the business about. Everything we do with Fierce Angel, I control it. And I get to make the decisions about what I do.
You're more comfortable with that. But as I said, we'd love to get you involved to some extent over there next year, whether it's even a dinner or whether it's a sit down, whether it's a party, whether it's something. We've got to do so, because there is a lot of love for you and Hed Kandi. Can I ask you, what's your favorite bar that you were? Were you a regular at any particular bars over there?
It was the bass bar. It was always the bass bar. It was the bass bar, and then there was the Italian guy that had the pizza place about 8 doors up. That was really amazing. And the pizzas. He's probably still there.
I bet
that was the one. And then kind of sort of creeping up through the town and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we literally. You have to bear in mind that I kind of got over there and I wasn't allowed to misbehave. Well, I did, but I wasn't.
Rubbish.
Yeah, that Tuesday and Wednesday when everyone just went, yeah, fuck it, we'll do whatever. I was back home working, so I kind of did my 3 days. Yeah, under my desk, crying my eyes out, going, oh.
I didn't know you had to go back and do a full work week.
Spreadsheets.
That's horrendous.
Spreadsheets, marketing, presenting. The best thing about going back from in the El Divino days, the best thing about going back home was going back to the Jazz FM office, to the Jazz FM head of accounts, and putting an envelope on his desk and going, here is probably 15 to 20,000 euros, and he would be like, okay, and the receipt and and I'm like, there's nothing. It was like, I've been given an envelope of money from a club, and now you have to bank it. And he was like,
good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Like the craziness of that sort of time.
Yeah. We were talking about some crazy stuff the other day. I mean, it's just what went on back then. I think there's several people trying to write books at the moment. It's unbelievable, though, and I just really hope that someone does encapsulate something in a book one day.
I've been asked to write a book so many times, and I have said, if I wrote that book, people would get divorced. I would. There are people that are friends or acquaintances.
This is the reason why it hasn't been written, I think.
And they'll be like, oh, well, don't name names. Don't do this. Don't. I mean, I'm in, like, Brandon's book that he's written. I'm in there. But it's like, there is no way that I could write a good story about what happened without kind of people knowing, if I wrote it, who those people were. They don't know who they were. And you just can't do it, because it's like, well, do I want to be a rich book writer, or do I want to have no friends whatsoever?
I just had a question here from Nick, our lovely partner, for one more time. Ask him how much ministry paid for Hed Kandi.
Probably 75% less than they should have paid, because we had left and we'd taken all the main staff with us, and the company was fucked. Now, right. Ministry did a very clever thing, and they swooped in and went, listen, like, they've all fucked off. You've just been in a court case that you've lost. Messy court case. We actually won it, but it cost us 150 grand. Ministry got that brand for 75% less than it should have cost.
We won't say anything. And say anything more. but
I'm sure you can find it online.
Yeah, I'm sure you can if you do a bit of digging. Mate, it's been absolutely incredible speaking to you. We'd love to get you on board. I mean, there's been a lot of love. I mean, I've just been watching some of the comments here, and yeah, I think Hed Kandi is great, because you said that your concept of Hed Kandi was looking after everyone and keeping everyone happy. And as I said to you before we were coming an interview, I don't think I ever heard a bad thing about Hed Kandi. And this is my last question. Why do you think Hed Kandi did work so well? You didn't have the massive DJs in there, did you? It was all about the branding, the people. It
was never about that. It was, if you look at the parties that you run in Ibiza, the things that you did in Ibiza, it was about finding those people that wanted to do that and wanted to have such a good time, and just giving them something that they loved. Now, I got lucky, and I did that on a global scale.
Yeah,
that was
we haven't even touched that side of it, have we?
Yeah, but I was like, I made a brand that I loved. I loved the music, and everybody got on board with it. And we always looked after all of those people. It touched, for whatever reason, it touched me. It's what Glitterbox is doing now. It's what Defected has always done. It's what everyone does with a small business that they know where it should appeal to. And we got lucky with it. I got lucky. So
and I love throughout the whole interview, we've had the elements of winging it, blagging it,
blagging it, but also at its heart, understanding the people that are buying it, that are going to the clubs, that are buying the music and looking after them, never shafting them, never giving them anything shit, never turning them over, never trying to sell them hair straighteners, which is what someone did later on after I left. But anyway,
let's not get into that.
Let's not get into that. But it's about integrity. That's the bottom line. Brilliant. It's about, if you're going to sell something that you love and people love it as well, you're always going to do well.
Fantastic. And that's, I can't believe an hour has almost gone by.
Oh my God.
It's great. I mean, I know we had the balls up.
I can talk for England.
I know, it's great. But I mean, thank you so much, my friend. We're gonna call it a day now. As I've got Junior to go back to, and I think you've got.
Has he thrown the cats off the balcony, or?
Oh no, not yet. The thing is, he decided to throw everything that he can get his hands off the balcony, and
it's my daily morning check-in. It's like, what has Junior done to Dexter? It was like stuff on the balcony,
he's
hung the cat.
The thing is, he's so like me, and they call him the just English, the English one, because he obviously is the only English kid in the village, isn't he? So, he's great. Okay, thank you so much, my friend.
Pleasure.
Yeah, and I will be in touch with you. And I think everybody is going to be absolutely buzzing to see you at the reunion next year. I know it's a year away. We couldn't.
It's a year away, but you can always join us on September the 15th.
Of course, yeah.
Oh,
we're going to obviously we're going to be posting out on the group and everything about the event. So yeah, September the 15th. Get there. I'm sure Holly will be helping out over there.
Yeah, Holly will be out there. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you guys.
Howard will be parachuting in.
He's going to. And I saw at one point in this interview, Randy Goldspunk entered the chat room, so he knows we're after him. I'm calling you, sir. Okay, thank you. And
all right, matey, and thank you all. Thank you all.
Care.
See you later.
Cheers for tuning in, everyone. It's been amazing. Thank you. Bye bye.